Hello, everyone, and welcome to your first Alliance raid of the Endwalker expansion, brought to you in 6.1 Aglaia, Realm of the Gods. So let's get started with this guide and find out what they got in store for us. All right, guys, so here we have our first boss of the Alliance raid, Bayergot. And he has a big hammer, and he likes to use it on quite a few of his mechanics, actually. So let's check out what he's got for us. Ordeal of Thunder here. This is just more or less a big raid-wide AoE. Try to help your healers out. Throw some mitts if you can. Next ability here, Bayergot Strike. You see he's raising his hammer in the air. There's a circle on the platform. It will then knock you away. I'm pretty sure you can knock back immunity to that. And he does a different variation of that sometimes. So there's one of the tank buster mechanics, his ward. You'll see we're trying to move away from that tank as he gets clapped with that big mallet of his there. Builder's build. So this is where he turns into Bob the Builder, I guess. And you see how he has lightning around him? He's going to hit this mallet platform, and then those lightning strikes will happen. So you essentially need to position yourself around that circle based on where those lightning strikes are. As you can see, these two lines right here on the sides of the platform, he's basically going to slice those off and break that apart, and now we're left with this little chunk of the platform right here. Now, on this little platform here, he's going to then give us a couple hammers. I mean, what else would you guys expect, right? So he summons his divine hammers here. Now, the hammers that are swinging are essentially going to knock the platform that direction by one tile. And it does not move you, it will just move the platform. So you see how you push those platforms over one like that, and we stood still. So essentially, if you're standing on a piece that gets knocked away, you could fall all the way down through the ground. And now this hammer that he shows right here that has a line, if there's a hammer like that swinging, it will push that hammer one line over. So essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to stand right here where there's no hammers, or if a hammer would keep you safe, obviously. So this hammer is going to swing, it pushes that one line over, and then we were in a safe position right there. So now we're looking here, and he is going to be pushing this platform a direction. So what we need to do here is wait for the things to move. So essentially, if we look at this platform that I'm in, it pushes it one line over. We are then moving into a safe position, although I was a little bit slow there and still took a vuln. Basically, if you're just quick enough on that, you can make it through that mechanic. But honestly, that's probably one of the hardest mechanics of this boss fight. So as we, let's see, as they're starting to res people up, let's go ahead and throw some help out to shield people. Builder's build here. You'll see the lightning around him. It is in like a plus formation, so we want to position ourselves sort of in an X pattern around that circle. So just be aware, and don't try to position yourself around the boss. Be sure to look at the pattern that he is presenting on himself, and then go ahead and copy that on that platform there. Now here he summons some clones of himself. You see that some of them are overcharged. They're golden gods. Those ones will move faster than the ones that are not. So essentially what you're doing is you're waiting for those fast ones to move, go into that lane to not get clipped by that slow one that then comes shortly after. Another tank buster here. Luckily, these are pretty much just single target tank busters, so really you only need to have one tank pay attention, unlike some of the other bosses. All right, here we go with the platforms once again. He's going to cut off those two sides. Let's see here. I'm assuming we're going to get some hammer swings to sort of make our platform a little weird. Oh, here we go. So he has a line hammer right here. And we want to make sure that we aren't going to get... That thing is going to get pushed one tile away from me currently. So I want to be right here where I'm at. I'll be safe and sound. Go ahead and shield some people up over there for the people to take that line attack. So Like I said, a lot of AoE, a lot of stuff that you can take a lot of damage from, a lot of stuff that can wipe parties. Just try to help people out. All right, we are going to get moved over one tile position over there. So we want to be somewhere on this side. You can be either or, like here or here, and you still be fine. As long as you just pay attention to where those hammer lines are and where the line is going to get knocked to. There are multiple safe options usually, which is a good thing on this fight. But all in all, it's a lot of repeat here. If we pay attention, look, if we go right up next to the boss, that's going to be our best spot. As we see, this hammer is going to push one extra tile to our left out of this AoE. And then we run over into this safe spot. And there we go. That's really all there is to it. It will take you probably a couple tries. I mean, obviously, this is not my first run through on this, as I'm still trying to get my tanking chest. But all in all, I think you guys can pick it up pretty quick. And let's see where we at. We're at 15% here. Builder's build. All right, so here he's going to put lightning on himself for builder's build. Again, he's doing sort of that plus formation as he goes to there. We kind of want to position ourselves to where that lightning strike will not hit us and instead just do a nice little knockback on us, keeping us safe. Big AoE right here, Ordeal of Thunder. So for some of those people that got hit, they probably will die. So taking that AoE along with that lightning line is pretty lethal right there. Another single target tank buster with that Fire God's Ward. Casting Reproduce, although I don't think we'll get to see it. But again, on this one, whenever those clones of him are glowing with thunder, they will be moving faster, and you want to dodge those first and then move into their lane to then avoid the slower ones. Second boss here is Rhalgr, and he's got a lot of mechanics that I was actually trying to explain to some people there, but we pre-pulled her a little early, so we're starting our video early. Advent of the Eighth. This mechanic right here, essentially he is going to summon two colors over here. Now what you really want to do is look at the direction he's punching. See, he's going to be punching into this blue sphere right here, which means the blue side over there is going to be the one that blows up. So you do not want to be on the blue over there. And occasionally he can bait you with that mechanic, so just be aware of that. Lots of AoE damage on this fight, by the way, so be aware of that too. So that right there is just a getaway attack. Now he can combo both of those, just so you know. So basically on this thing right here, you see these lines that point to a finger. You basically want to get knocked back into a finger. And sometimes one of those spots will not be safe, so also pay attention for that. We'll see that one a little bit later on in the fight. Here's another Advent of the Eighth. Now again, we're watching which one he's punching. He is punching towards this red one right here, and we are not on the red side of the platform. Boom. There we go. Pretty simple mechanic right there whenever it's just sort of the black and white version there. Occasionally you can throw a little bit of a variance on it, so we'll need to pay attention to that. Tanks, be sure to kind of all sort of be on one side compared to your raid, because there is a triple tank buster there. I wasn't really paying attention since I'm trying to explain mechanics here. But yeah, you have more than enough time if you are on the wrong side, so just sort of be aware of that. There we go, he's teleporting to the middle. Broken World. Now, Broken World, you need to pay attention to what he's punching. So since he's punching this red, we can stand under the stack marker. And what he's going to do is essentially punch this meteor. Now this meteor will then turn into fragments on the outside of the room area there. Now if he does not punch that meteor, it is not safe to be in that area. So be aware of that. So that's one of those tricky ones you really got to pay attention to. That's probably one of the biggest raid wipe mechanics that there is. Again, here is another broken world it looks like he's doing. Now he is punching red, and we can go over here and stack under this red meteor. See his fist right there coming through, punching that meteor. It's then spreading to the other sides of the room. Okay. Now here is just sort of your basic stand on one, move to the other. So he's gonna do the first lightning that he did, and then you can then move to the second lightning area. There is a bit of AoE there, and I'm gonna go ahead and move out, spread out for some raid members there, make sure they live. So there are a lot of mechanics that sort of overlap, can be very lethal, but overall, he's not too bad of a boss. A little fast paced. Here we're gonna get another broken world. That's where the meteor is happening, but he is punching blue this time, so we want to be away from that meteor. And since he's punched blue, you don't want to be on that side over there that the blue is on. So like that half of the room that is blue is bad. So if he's not punching meteor, you essentially have to be away from the meteor and away from that half that is getting punched. Here we have another little tricky mechanic, because you see these purple orbs that are spawning. This is the part where I said only one finger will possibly be safe on this boss. So that one would have been safe. It is a straight line into the finger, but there is a lot of purple orbs that can hinder that choice. Here we have an Advent of the 8th. I'm going to try to mitigate some damage here for my healers, help them out. So here he summoned our two little portals. Broken world. So there's a meteor coming down. What's he punching? He is punching red. See the fist going into the red? We can go under this meteor and we will be a-okay. The fist comes through that portal right there, punches that meteor. Meteor then scatters to the rest of the room. And again, if it had not done that, you would have wanted to be away from that meteor, but also away from the side of the room he is hitting. Quick, simple 1-2 right here. Again, dodge the first lightning line that he summoned. We will then move into it and dodge those circles that are then dropped on the ground. Triple tank buster. I'm going to go ahead and make some room for the rest of the raid here. Ideally, I would want to get some uptime there, but I am more concerned about killing the boss than uptime. Here he's doing another cast of Broken World. Summon those two portals. Again, we are looking at what he's punching. He's punching blue, so essentially we do not want to be on the blue half, but we need to be away from the meteor that is on red. So we are going to run way back here. We were away from blue. There goes the meteor, and now the raid needs to spread out very, very quickly. If you have a mitigation to help people out who do overlap, do so. Not the entire raid gets it, though, which is a good thing. Otherwise, that would be very, very chaotic. Here he's doing that Hell Lightning and summoning those orbs. Now, that finger over there in front of us would be safe if you weren't getting pushed back into an orb. But since it is, we have to pick our other choice of finger right here. Advent of the 8th. All right, he summoned those two portals because of Advent. Broken World. Get ready. And then he is punching red. So he's punching where the meteor is. We're going to go over there by that meteor. Soak this because it's not even going to go off. See, the fist comes through. Again, punches everything to the other parts of the room. And we are good to go. Lightning Rain. That would be a big AoE here. Looks like everyone's still doing pretty well. A little bit healthy. Alright, he's summoning our lightning here. with bronze work. So again, dodge the first lightning he spawned, then move into that one, dodge those circles if you happen to get any on your area. Triple tank buster. Again, I'm gonna make sure my raid has some room over here. Ooh, I might be able to greed. Nice. Final 10% of the boss here, whittling them down. Same mechanics, sort of rinse and repeating. Nothing really new from beyond those introductory things we had there. Summon 2 portals. What's he punching? He's punching blue, so we do not want to be on the blue half of the room, but we need to be away from that meteor over there. That is bad news, bears. Again, there's that, and then we need to spread out. If you have a mobile sort of ability there, that'd be really helpful. Ninja teleport, Reaper port, stuff like that. And that, my friends, was Rhalgr, the second boss of your Alliance raid. Third boss of this Alliance raid is Azima. Now, Azima does a lot of fire-based attacks, but overall isn't too overly complicated. Warden's Prominence there, it's a AoE, hits everybody in the raid for about 20,000 damage. I'd recommend mitigating some of that if you can help people out. Solar Wings, her wings are gonna flap, and pretty much just don't want to be in those. But they do spawn these little orbs here. So these orbs early on don't really do a whole bunch. They just sort of do AoEs around them. Later on, they will move. So you need to pay attention to the new safe locations whenever that does happen. All tanks do take a hit here. So I would recommend you guys being on one side of the boss, raid being on the other. You guys should be able to have a lot of uptime on this, provided everyone just spaces out for each other. Solar Wings. Again, those are just going to explode. Nothing new right here, I don't think. Oh, well, here she goes. So this is what I mean by the move. So some of these orbs will get kicked. And basically you just want to be behind one of these kickers. So they will push the orb away from you. Then creates 3 little safe locations there. Solar Fans. This is her fans, so front and back rather than her wings. And then Radiant Rhythm. So where she threw her fans at, they are now dancing around the room. And wherever those end up, it will do a explosion left and right half of the room. I was a little slow on that one. But just pay attention with those fans whenever they are moving around the room, and you should be able to get to a safe spot in time. Again, triple tank buster. Oof, those people might get hit by that. Yeah, we're good. Fleeting Spark. So she's going to kick a room, and it's a big cone, like a big cone. So basically, the easiest way to position yourself for that is if you can look at the boss and you see where her boot is on fire, be on that portion of the boss, if that makes sense. So whenever we get there again, I'll point it out to you. All right, here we have these fire lines. They're going to be spreading out. Now she's summoning clones again, which means they are going to be moving these fires. So they are going to fan them. So essentially this line is then going to coat that quarter of the room. Watch her as she uses her fan on this line, it will then push it. So it pushes the fire towards that section. So there were 2 safe points right there. Later on in the fight, there will only be 1 safe spot. So just pay attention to where she's pushing that with her fan. Again, another Warden's Promise. People got hit pretty hard with that. So again, try to mitigate if you can. Wildfire Ward. This one is just a simple 3-part knockback. You just need to pay attention to the order that the lines spawn in and just get pushed accordingly. You want to make sure you're in the middle of the area and then you move to the tip. So essentially, those 3 different lines, we start off where we are here. We're going to get pushed to the tip on the other side. Again, move to the middle and then get pushed to the tip and then move to the middle again. Oh shit, I was slow. There we go. And then you should end up in the safe little corner every time. Here she has a giant ball of fire, and you don't really want to be over there between like near the ball. You need to dodge all these that are coming out of the ground, and then she will kick whichever direction she is. So like we need to be behind her right here because she's gonna kick the ball the other half of the room. She then shifted, so again, be behind her. Don't be on the path that she's gonna kick that ball to. That ball's gonna get kicked over there. Huge AoE. So again, be away. Boom. Good. Solar fans. Gonna dodge those. Alright, those fans are dancing around. Again, they're sort of left and right there, so there you go. Try to be in between where the fans are, and you'll be good. So here's her boots. Like I said, if you go near her boot, see our fire boots right there? I'm standing like pretty much on that fire boot, and I was safe for that mechanic that happened. It's really all you got to look for whenever that mechanic happens. Solar wings. They'll be on her wings there. Alright, we now have our fire orbs. Now this is the one where we're going to have multiple move directions. So essentially, this one is going to get pushed into the other lady, and then she will then push it into the middle of the room. So essentially, you kind of just want to be on a corner where it's getting pushed like away, not in the middle, if that makes sense. It's probably it's a little hard to understand, but just doing it a few times, you'll make sense of it. Just try to calculate as best you can where all of those are going to be punted, and hopefully you end up in a safe corner. Solar field. So this is going to be the one where she does these lines, and then if you remember before, we're going to get those fan clones of her that will then push these. However, this time there are 3 of them. So if we look, the only safe spot would be this one right here, because this one's going to push that direction, then that direction, and then the next one, and then next to us on the left there is no lady in a quadrant, so we're not getting anything pushed to us, which is good. And it definitely might take a few tries to figure some things out, guys, but all in all, it's not too terrible of an alliance raid, actually. I really enjoyed a lot of these fights. Ooh, there's a fireball again, so there's going to be a lot of mechanics happening right here near the end of her lifespan, so we need to dodge a lot of AoEs here on the ground. Once those AoEs resolve, she's doing a fleeting spark. I'm going to try to run near this fire boot. So now I'm on that fire boot. And then after that fire boot, there would have been that meteor kick. So really hectic right there at the very end. But all in all, a really good boss, honestly. I really like that boss. The final boss of the Alliance raid comes in 2 parts. It is Nald Thal here. And he has quite a few mechanics, actually, that I wouldn't say they kill, but they can definitely give you a bad time. So here we have heat above, flames below. And essentially I was out of the wrong there, but I think it's based on his lanterns. I haven't quite figured this one out 100%. If any of you guys did, put that down in the comments, but I think it's, maybe we'll figure it out as we get along here, but I think it's based on the lanterns that float around him, possibly. So like blue lanterns were floating there, so it's possible that... And oh, then they turned to red at the last second. I see. Got it. Okay. But I was safe there. I didn't take a vault, so I think it is based on lanterns. There we have a Heaven's Trial. It's a spread out mechanic. As long as people don't sort of go on each other, we're good. But there's also a stack up for the people that are not part of that. And if you'll notice over here, there's a triple tank buster taking place after. So tanks, if you are helping people out, you're going to be throwing some damage reductions for the raid. You're going to be stacking with people. Then you're going to go and soak your tank buster right there. A little bit hectic for you, but it's all part of the fight, right? Hectic. There's some people over here. We see they have little arrows on them. That means they are going to be chased by these little circles. But there's also a line mechanic right here. So essentially they just don't want to bait those into us. And we'll be good. We're all good right here. As above, so below. This cast here. It's possible it's based on cast, too, and maybe not the lanterns I'm thinking of. So I haven't quite figured this one out 100% yet either, but I just chose to stay in between two colors. So that way it gives you time to figure out, because one of them will despawn while the other one shifts. So if you're between two, like every time you'll be good. And Hellfire here, the room half that's purple, obviously is going to blast that room and away over there, so just don't be on that half. So, I mean, there are some mechanics that, like, I don't even fully understand, but you can get by them by just sort of picking a safe location. Obviously, meteors here, you just run around the room, don't get hit by those. He does summon quite a few of them, so keep moving. Here we go. Ring around the rosy. We're going. Back and forth, back and forth. Dodge those meteors. All over the place. But if you can keep DPSing them during that, good uptime. That's good. It's a good time to put in some damage. Oh, here we have Hellfire. Don't be on that purple half of the room, but he rotated his head around, so he now reversed which half is unsafe, so some of those people are going to get blasted over there. So always pay attention to where those purple lines are, including all the way up to the last second there. Here he's showing you what's going to happen, so he's showing like a knockback symbol. So that one right there is a knockback, and then that blue icon, you do not want to get hit by those. That is not a stack mechanic, it's simply just a explosion. So we're going to get punted away from that number 2 marker. And then the people who get knocked back to that 2 marker, you will see over here, they're taking a explosion over there. So now he's doing an explosion first, so we ignore that one. There's going to be a knockback at this number 2. And there's a knockback at number 3. So first one's going to go off here. As we saw, it was that blue icon. That's an explosion. There's going to be a knockback from this number 2. And then a knockback from that number 3 right there. Not too hard of a mechanic there. A little bit of a fun field trip we got to take around the ring. So Judgment here. This, okay. So we actually got really lucky here, because whenever you have all 3 of your ads spawn on one side of the room, the ads count for weight. So if you kill these ads on this half of the room, they then add weight to this half of the room for scales, which is a mechanic that's taking place like after this. So you'll see in a minute here, but if ads happen to not get placed, or I'm actually not sure, can you move these ads? You cannot move these ads. So wherever they spawn, you essentially have to deal with the weight mechanic. And basically, every ad is essentially an alliance raid value worth of people. So as we have 3 of them on one side, that's worth all 3 alliance raids on that half of the room. So now what's going to happen is those bodies count as weight. So you'll see that see how they have 3 weight symbols here? They are worth a lot in value. We all need to be over here on this half of the room to even out those scales. Now, if you fail on that mechanic, it is a guaranteed one-shot. So if you had, let's say, 2 bodies on one side, you would only want 1 alliance raid over there. And then if you had a body on this side, you would want 2 alliance raids over there, therefore equaling out like 3 alliance raid values worth of weight on each side. That's how that mechanic works. That one will probably take some people a couple tries if you are just going in blind 100%. But it would, I think it only took us a few, maybe we messed up, I think once because our stuff was off balance, but our second pull in that we got on our blind prog, it was all three ads on one side, which was really great. This will be the second part here where we get damage buffs, a lot of stuff going on. So like I said, I haven't 100% figured this one out. If you guys did, go ahead and throw that down below. But I usually just stand in between two sections. You can then figure out which ones are exploding and just run away. Because, like I said, one side will despawn entirely and just explode, and the other one will travel. So it probably has something to do with the boss. I just didn't pick up on his icon. But like I said, if you just stand in between two colors, if you're quick enough at moving, you're pretty much good anyway. Here we have some 3 people with the debuffs need to run out. Again, our raid stacking for this line attack. I'm going to go ahead and throw a damage reduction here. Save them, hopefully. There's those lines that travel. Watch where they are going to. Yeah. So here we see the fire. Just make sure he doesn't rotate that head last second on you guys. Looks like he's going to keep it right there, though, so we are good to go. Just stand right here. These purple lines explode over there. Bunch of meteors. Lots more meteors again, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and dodge that side. Run through. Let me get over here. This could be graphically intense, I would assume, for some people with some older equipment, possibly. Lots of running. Lots of running. All right. After that last meteor, we now see his head here. He's not rotating. It doesn't look like, so that side is getting blasted. And now tanks are getting hit, so I'm going to go ahead and move out. Just to make room for everybody in the raid. And I think this Alliance raid actually one-shot all those bosses. That was pretty impressive. So that's Aglaia. I mean, that was pretty simple, actually. So yeah, hopefully this guide helps you guys out. If there was a mechanic you struggled on, be sure to double check. And like I said, if anyone does happen to figure out the last part on that boss, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. And I can't wait to see you guys for round 2 of Alliance raids.